Welcome to SOI's Blue Futures Pathways expedition off the coast of Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. You're currently flying above the Atlantic Ocean. In the distance, you can see the ship that is hosting the team that will take care of you today. We have a lot to cover, so let's begin.
Good morning and welcome to this VR experience. This morning we're going to learn how to be a Zodiac driver, and we'll take you through the steps right here on board getting the Zodiacs ready, to putting them in the water, and then how to drive them once we're in the water. My name is Kim and I'm going to be your Zodiac guide today. In the morning, it's a team effort to get the deck ready and to get the boats out in the water. So we've got Jeff over here that's pumping up the boats. We've got Isaac, who's changing out our fuel tanks. Jen, who's making sure that the Zodiacs are ready to be put in the water and unlatched. And Neha, who's preparing her boat as she goes out for a dive. When we're out here in the morning, it's a bunch of us together. We're all wearing hard hats because we've got a crane that's gonna put the Zodiacs in the water. We'll show you that step next. For now, we're wearing hard hats and our life jackets, ready to be on the water. The boats are separated into 5 different compartments, so we've got to make sure that all those compartments are well inflated, all of our restock is done, and that we're ready ourselves to get outside on the water. Next step, let's put these boats on the water.
When the crane is operating, it's important to keep a safe distance. And of course, you should never walk under the boats while they are in the air.
All right, so now that we're on the water, it's time to do our safety checks and make sure that we have everything on our Zodiac. First thing I do is when we come off the crane, it's a mess in the Zodiac. My bag is here and I want to tuck it away somewhere where it won't be in the way. And make sure that I get rid of my straps here and tuck them over to the side. Just like this. And then I can walk to the front and get my bow line out of the way. Give it a good tug to make sure it's not dragging into the water. And I open my bow box to check what's in there. I can put the rest of my strap into my bow box and just do a visual check to make sure that I have all of my equipment. I'm looking for a foot pump to be able to inflate my pontoons, a baler and a spare kill cord. I've got a spare fuel line as well, a Zodiac safety kit, and I'm looking at my gas tank, making sure that my lid is open so that the air doesn't suction into the tank. I've also got my fire extinguisher and some spare water. Now that I've checked that I have everything that I need in here, I close it back up and I start my check going from the bow all the way to the aft. So from the bow, I'm looking at these valves here and making sure that these valves are in navigation mode. This Zodiac has 5 different pontoons, 1 at the front, 2 at the front on the sides, and 2 at the back on the sides. And these pontoons allow the Zodiac to stay afloat if one of these were to puncture. That's why I want to make sure my valves are set in navigation mode, so that way, if one were to puncture, we'd still be floating. I also look that I have some spare paddles on each side of my Zodiac. As I move to the back, I'm also looking for my throw bag, which would help me get anybody in the water if they were to fall overboard. I tidy up some lines here so that my feet don't get entangled. And as I get to the aft here, I'm just doing a quick visual check that my filter is clear, that my bulb is nice and taut, and that my engine has some water coming off the back so that the coolant is actually functioning.
Now that we've set up our Zodiac for a safe ride, let's learn how to operate it.
One of the distinctive features of driving a Zodiac is that you're actually driving standing up. That means you have to find a position that's really comfortable for you, that works with your body type, that works with the way that you actually like to be standing on these Zodiacs. One of the things we learned is that it's best to drive with your left hand, because if you were to fall over, your instinct would be to grab the throttle, which means as you're grabbing the throttle, you don't want it to rev up like this. If I were to fall over, I don't want that to happen, all right? So driving with your left hand means you would close the throttle if you were to grab onto it. The next thing is to find a position that works again for you. So this is my favorite position. It's the standing position with the tiller arm in my back over here. That means I can control it with my hips as well. There's the sideways position with my foot at the back, one foot forward, and I'm steady like this. Then there's the added safety position with the foot on the transom and my hand here on the grab line, just like this. The other thing that you need to know about driving a Zodiac is all of your controls on your tiller arm. Of course, you've got your kill cord. If I were to pull this, the engine would stop. I've got my key, I've got my gear, my throttle, and the up-down motion for my engine of these electric engines. So that's how it is to be on a Zodiac and to find a good position. Next, we're gonna try a beach landing. There are different types of approaches that you can do. These boats are purpose-built to be able to bring us to some places where there's no jetties. Obviously, you could use a jetty, just like this boat over here, but as Zodiac drivers, we love to do things like beach landings. I'm gonna do a beach landing right now, and as I'm approaching the beach, I'm scanning for any obstacles that would be able to hit my propeller at the back. So scout the water with me as we approach the beach. As I get closer to the beach, I'm also thinking about raising my engine. So I'm touching my up button here, it's an electrical engine, and as I touch my up button, it brings my propeller forward. And then when I make sure that the beach is clear, then I give it a little bit of power, just so I ram up on the beach, I turn my engine off, and lift at the same time. That way, my engine is out of the water, and I can go and catch my boat right here in the water, and I'm ready to anchor it off or to get some folks to come onto our boat.
Now let's grab the steering oar and try it for ourselves. This feeling of freedom out on the water is just one of the many reasons to become a Zodiac driver.
I hope that you've enjoyed this experience, and thank you for coming along with me. I look forward to seeing you out there as a Zodiac driver.